Doug.
And I'm Kathy.
And this is Maggie Mae. Join us as we follow the moon. Today, we are at beautiful Callaway Gardens. And it is right now the middle of March. The tulips are in bloom, but there's so much more than just the tulips. We're going to start off and show you around their tulip garden of over 100,000 tulips. And then we're going to show you the rest of this beautiful property up here in Pine Mountain, Georgia. So come along with us.
Thanks.
Now, when you get to Callaway Gardens, the first thing you see is the visitor center. And the visitor center is something that if you already have your tickets from online or you're not looking for an annual membership, you can totally bypass this. But it is really pretty.
It is real pretty.
A little fountain in the koi pond there. It just kind of sets the mood for the peaceful beauty that you're about to see as you enter the park. And as you enter the park, this is what you see. We're starting at Casons Garden. And Casons Garden is a vegetable garden for most of the year, but in the early spring, this is where the tulips are.
Lots of them.
Yes. They claim 100,000 tulips, and I don't doubt it. It had been prime tulip season for a few weeks before we got there, the middle of March, and they were still beautiful.
Yes, they were.
And shapes and colors that I've never seen before. Some of them are like the regular tulips that you picture. Some have the little fancy curly leaves to them.
Some of them are feathered around the edges.
Yeah, there's one that's an orange one that you'll see in our footage here that almost looks more like a carnation or something exotic like that. The white one there with the pointed leaves. It's truly amazing, all the different varieties of tulips that there are there.
I don't remember seeing tulips all that much growing up.
No. Now right across from Casons Garden is their beach area. And as I said, middle of March, it was a little cool while we were there. We had just actually came off of a freeze the night before. And so the beach wasn't really busy. But it's a beautiful beach. There's also a seating area that looks like they probably do some water skiing or something out there. The azaleas were just coming into their full bloom, and they claim there's over 1 million azaleas there, and I think that's conservative.
And the colors, they were so beautiful.
Yes, so many different colors. A lot of the pastels, but some were really bright and vivid. And
reminded you of paintings.
Mm-hmm. Now there is I believe it's around 5-mile driving path. There are bicycle paths, places that you can walk and places you can hike. We started off and drove around the park first to get a lay of the land. And right as you come in the gate to the left is the Azalea Trail. And this is a short walking trail. I believe it was 0.6 of a mile.
And it meanders.
Mm-hmm. It goes down along the water, so you get the waters, the trees, but these azaleas are just amazing. It was a very nice walk. And when you see it all reflecting in the water, it's even more beautiful.
I love that, yeah.
We've commented so many times that it reminds us of our Thomas Kincaid pictures that we used to have at our home.
He must have lived here.
Mm-hmm. And there were butterflies everywhere. And birds. But yeah, it looks just like the colors that are dotted onto the canvas of the paintings.
It was kind of like a maze.
Yeah, it was. This one had so many little interconnecting trails between trails. But the view was just fantastic.
Again, that reflection.
Yeah, every place you look looks like it's a professionally posed photograph. And it's just how they have everything planted and growing.
We must have just hit the season perfectly timed, because I know where we're from, the azaleas are very short-lived. Now there's daffodils. These were interesting too.
Yeah, there was some really beautiful plants. Now we're going to go on and take the drive around, and there are lakes throughout the drive on both sides. There's some smaller lakes that we'll pass here along the left. I do have the driving sped up as we normally do. They have a low speed limit, which is good because you want to take it all in as you're driving by.
That's right.
But you'll have the flowers, you'll have the wooded areas. There's so much of a mix of all different types of nature as you go.
And there were turtles out there to the left.
The dogwoods were coming out, so you'd have the real bright white on the trees. This is one of the larger lakes, and I mean, everything just looks like it's out of a picture book. Now, this is a little chapel that was built in honor of the Callaway brothers' mother. And while we were there, we had a special treat that the organist was actually practicing, I believe, for a wedding. You can see the chapel there in the distance. And the music, the pipes come out through the roof. So enjoy the music of the chapel.
What a beautiful setting.
Yes. I keep picturing a wedding in there.
Absolutely.
You know? Now, this is the Azalea Loop, the Callaway brothers, and again, more azaleas as you go down through here. But it's not just the flowers. This place is just beautiful.
I think they call it the bowl.
That's right, Azalea Bowl. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Tulips out there. There are little bits of history as you go through, talking about the Callaway brothers there and their family. A lot of this transpired around 1961. That's when the chapel was built. A lot of the things were put in the early 60s. So it's been around for a while. Been around as long as I have.
Look at that. I think this was my favorite.
Yeah, this had it all. This had the flowers, this had the trees, it had the water, it had a waterfall, a beautiful bridge. This area just checked off all the boxes.
And very easy to walk path.
Mm-hmm.
It's paved, so you use strollers and wheelchairs. And
as you go across the bridge, you'll see this waterfall that's been created there. And just the peaceful sound of that waterfall and the view, it's just amazing. And this is looking out the other direction off the bridge. And look how vivid these colors are.
And we were not able to walk all of the trail. There's so many of them.
Yes. And it's nice that if you're not feeling like walking, you get beautiful sights just on the drive.
That's right.
Now this is an area, it's a horticulture center where they do plants, and I'm assuming they start plants there. Now the Virginia Hand Callaway Discovery Center is, I believe, one of the newer additions to the park, and it's designed, I think, especially towards kids learning about nature. This is a statue of Virginia and her Great Dane, who got the term mud nose because he was always snooping around in the woods, but Rex, I believe, was his name. This is inside the center, but just to let you know some of the other things they have, along this dock along the lake, there's a restaurant down there with a beautiful view. This is their zip line area, and it was actually closed for a meeting when we were there, but that would be amazing to zip line over some of this. Now this is a pioneer cabin that was moved to this site, and it was one of the neatest displays on the inside I think I've seen in any of these. It was really, really done well. They have these great little raised gardens out in front with herbs and vegetables. And right there is the Lady Bird Johnson Wildflower Trail, right there where those raised gardens were. And it's a beautiful little trail. The time of year we were there was too early for the wildflowers to be out, but beautiful little trail.
That's the nice thing, though. If you come back later, you would be seeing these flowers.
You won't have the tulips, but you'll have the wildflowers.
That's right.
Every time you
Always
go, it's something different. If we were in the area, I think we'd have to do an annual just to go back and see it throughout the different seasons of the year. Now this was amazing. This is their butterfly garden, and
it was so fun.
Yes. Now, of course, they've got the gift shop and all the little butterfly wings and costumes. There are actually butterflies hatching from the cocoons, and this was the area, and I like this so much. There's great butterflies, but they also have so many other forms of animal life in this enclosure.
And the plants.
Yeah. That little bird came right up to me. I had a lady tap me on the shoulder and point down. She was afraid I was not going to see it because I was filming and step on it. And the turtles.
Oh, yeah.
And look at all those butterflies back there. It is an amazing place.
It's pretty exciting when they land on you.
We've been in a couple of butterfly gardens. We were in one up at Mackinac Island, and this one to me takes the show. This is tremendous. There at the butterfly garden is the Rhododendron Trail. Again, another really nice trail. The rhododendrons, like you see the bush there in front of us, they were there, but they were not flowering yet this time of the year. again, another reason to go back later in the
That's
year.
right. That's right. Now that looks like magnolia.
The other thing people will come to Callaway for is the golf. And they have some of the most beautiful manicured golf courses there you've ever seen. So Kathy, what did you think of our day at Callaway Gardens?
Wow, it's really beautiful. A must-see.
Definitely. This is something I've grown up hearing about. My uncle used to come to Georgia on business and always talked about Callaway Gardens. We've never seen it before. And definitely, if you're in the area, it is a must-see. Allow a whole day for it. It will take a whole day to see even half of it.
That's right.
With that, if you've enjoyed the video today, please leave us a thumbs up. We appreciate it. If you haven't already subscribed to our channel, please subscribe and ring the notification bell, and that way you'll know every time a new video comes out.
And thank you for following us as we follow the moon.
Thanks for watching today.
If you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel.
And be sure to ring the notification bell so you'll know when new videos come out.
Don't forget to follow us on social media too.